Welcome back to the deep dive. It is good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Today, we are going to do something that, well, quite frankly, I was a little skeptical about when I first saw the packet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually, you know the drill. We take a massive book, a dense research paper, maybe a breakdown of a geopolitical crisis, and we try to turn it into a story.
We try to find the narrative arc.
Exactly. We look for the plot. But today,
Yeah.
today we are looking at a spreadsheet.
Right.
And not just any spreadsheet. We are looking at a meta-analysis of a specific YouTube channel's analytics. I mean, we have rows and rows of raw data here.
Yeah, it's a lot to look at.
We've got view counts, click-through rates, retention graphs, search term logs, demographic splits. It looks like the kind of thing you'd see projected on a wall in a sleepy marketing meeting on a Tuesday afternoon.
It does look like that on the surface.
For sure.
But I think if you spend even like 5 minutes with this data, you realize it is actually a psychological thriller disguised as an Excel sheet.
Okay, that is a bold claim. A psychological thriller.
I stand by it. I really do. Because what we are looking at isn't just how to get famous on the internet.
No.
In fact, if you follow this data as a guide for getting famous, you'll probably fail. Miserably.
Right.
What we are looking at is the digital footprint of a human mind. We are looking at a channel called Max of All Trades, or MOAT for short.
MOAT.
And the source material describes this project not as a channel, really, but as a museum of the mind.
A museum of the mind. I like that.
Or creative archive.
Yeah, see, that elevates the whole conversation immediately. We aren't talking about content creation. We're talking about curation.
Exactly. Curation. And when you frame the data through that lens, that we are walking through a museum, not just, watching a broadcast, all the weird anomalies in the numbers,
The things that don't make sense.
all the things that shouldn't make sense mathematically, they suddenly start to reveal a pattern. We aren't looking at a TV station. We're looking at a brain that has been turned inside out and uploaded to the cloud piece by piece.
And the scale of this brain is just... Okay, we have to talk about the sheer volume here.
It's massive.
This is the stats paradox that hooked me right away. If you were an investor or maybe a talent scout for a big media company and you looked at this channel's top-line metrics,
You'd be so confused.
you'd be incredibly confused.
You'd probably think there was a glitch in the reporting software.
Right. Because, look at this. We have a channel here with over 2,700 videos uploaded. Just pause on that number for a second. 2,700 videos.
It's an immense body of work. I mean, if you uploaded a video every single day without taking a break for weekends or holidays, that's nearly 7.5 years of daily output.
It's relentless.
It's relentless.
And it's prolific.
Yeah.
But then you look at the subscriber count, and this is where the record scratch happens.
Right.
As of this analysis, the channel has 457 subscribers.
457.
So you have the output of a major media corporation, 2,700 assets, and the subscriber base of a local knitting circle.
Right. It doesn't compute.
But then you toggle over to the lifetime views column, and you see over 131,000 views.
Which is a 6-figure number.
Exactly, a
Yeah.
6-figure number. So you have this massive output, a tiny, tiny subscriber base, but a 6-figure view count. It's this weird triangulation of data points that shouldn't really go together.
They just don't scale together.
Usually these things scale together. You get more videos, you get more subs, you get more views. It's a line going up.
That's the standard model of the creator economy. That's what everyone tells you is supposed to happen. It's supposed to be linear and, compounding.
Right.
You make a video, you get 10 subscribers, they watch the next one, the algorithm sees that, pushes it to 10 more people, you get 20 subscribers. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
But this isn't a snowball. This is something else entirely.
It's like the snowball rolled down the hill, broke into 1,000 pieces, and those pieces landed in completely different towns.
That is actually a very, very accurate description of what the data shows.
Wow.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We aren't here to critique the videos themselves.
No, we're not judging the content.
We are here to unpack the structure of this channel. We want to understand how a project with such a massive, eclectic output, we're talking music, philosophy, politics, these things called subpersonalities.
All over the map.
How does a channel like that actually function in the age of the algorithm?
So we are looking at the tension between documenting a mind, which is a personal act, versus chasing an algorithm, which is a public one.
It's the clash between art and optimization and the analytics.
Yeah.
Well, the analytics give us the scorecard for that battle.
I love that. The scorecard for the battle between art and optimization. Okay, I'm ready to put on the detective hat. Let's get into the first section here. We need to talk about the difference between a library and a broadcast. Because I think a lot of people listening might have their own creative projects, maybe a blog they haven't updated in a year, or a podcast they started and stopped, and they judge themselves by that broadcast metric.
That is the trap.
Yeah.
It really is. The broadcast model is the default setting for our culture. When you think of YouTube or TikTok or even Instagram, you think of a broadcast.
You do.
You think of a host saying, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. They have a schedule, new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. They have consistent format.
Right. It's personality driven. You subscribe because you want to hang out with that person next week. You want to see what they do next. It's a relationship.
Precisely. It's a parasocial relationship based on continuity and expectation.
Yeah.
But MOAT Max of all trades is operating as a library.
A library.
And the proof isn't just in the vibe, it's in the hard math. Let's look at that views per subscriber ratio again.
Okay, walk us through the calculation.
So we take the 131,000 lifetime views. Simple division. We divide that by the 457 subscribers. That gives us a ratio of roughly 287 views per subscriber.
287. Now, context is everything here. Is that high? Is that low? What does that mean?
It's astronomically high for a small channel. I mean, just off the charts.
Really?
Oh, yeah. If this were a standard vlog or a gaming channel with 450 subscribers, that ratio would likely be somewhere between, I don't know, 20 and 50.
20 and 50 versus almost 300.
Exactly. And why? Because on a broadcast channel, the views are capped by the audience size. Only the subscribers are notified. Only the subscribers really care, for the most part.
But a ratio of 287 implies that the vast, vast majority of people watching these videos are not subscribers.
Exactly. That's the whole point. They aren't tuning in for the personality. They are searching.
They're looking for something.
They're typing a query into a search bar, maybe how to use Suno AI or media subpersonalities or something very, very specific. And they find a video.
Okay.
They watch it to get the information or the experience they need,
Hmm.
and then they leave.
They leave. Just like checking a book out of a library. I don't go to the public library to hang out with the librarian and ask about their weekend.
Right.
I go because I need a book on, 18th century naval architecture. I find the book, I extract the info, I put it back on the shelf.
And you don't necessarily sign up for the library's newsletter just because you read one book.
Yeah.
You got what you came for.
Yeah.
The transaction was information-based, not personality-based.
That makes total sense. It explains why the view count is so high relative to the sub count.
It does.
The videos are working as individual assets, independent of the channel itself.
They're evergreen assets. They sit on the shelf, and they just wait for someone to need them.
But then you flip the coin, and we have to look at the views per video reality, because this is where the failure narrative usually creeps in for creators.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think this is where a lot of people quit.
This is the valley of death for creators, for sure.
If you take those same 131,000 views and divide them by the sheer volume of videos, 2,700, you get an average of about 49 views per video.
Right, 49.
Now, in the traditional YouTube guru world, the world where everyone is trying to be the next Mr. Beast or trying to optimize for viral growth, getting 49 views on a video after you have uploaded 2,700 times.
Now would be considered a catastrophe.
A total disaster.
The gurus would tell you that your channel is dead. They'd say the algorithm hates you. They'd tell you to delete everything and start over with a niche.
They'd say you're shouting into the void.
But, and this is the crucial but for an archive, for a museum, that is completely normal. In fact, it's successful.
How so?
You have to understand the content ecosystem here. The source breaks it down. 1,700 songs.
1,700 songs.
700 podcasts. Cultural deep dives, AI experiments, personal logs.
That's more than most professional bands release in a 50-year career.
It is. It really is. And think about it this way. If you write a song, let's say it's an AI-generated instrumental track designed for focus, and you upload it, and 49 people listen to it.
Okay.
Imagine those 49 people in a room.
That's a full coffee shop. That's a small club.
Exactly. If you played a gig at a local bar and 49 people showed up and listened to your song, you'd be thrilled. You'd think, wow, I connected with an audience.
Right.
But because it's on the internet, and because we see these videos with 10 million views, we look at 49 and think, failure.
It's a scaling problem in our heads. We've lost the ability to appreciate the human scale of connection.
Precisely. And The analysis categorizes most of these videos as Tier 3 content.
Tier 3. Break that down for us. What are the tiers?
So in this model, Tier 1 is your viral hits, the stuff designed to catch fire, to bring in new people.
Big stuff.
Tier 2 is your solid core audience content, the stuff your subscribers love and expect. But Tier 3 is the archive.
Okay.
It's the logs, the experiments, the micro ideas. They are meant to exist rather than to go viral.
They are documentation.
Yes. They are part of the documentation process of the creator's mind.
Yeah.
When the creator uploads song #1452, they aren't expecting it to hit the trending page.
No.
They're just putting it in the drawer. They are filing it in the database.
So the creator isn't failing to build an audience. They are succeeding at building a database.
Precisely. And the algorithm treats databases differently than it treats shows. A database is a long-tail game. It's about being there when someone searches for that one specific weird thing 3 years from now.
That's a really comforting way to look at it, actually. It takes the pressure off. You aren't always performing. Sometimes you're just filing.
And libraries are valuable precisely because they have the weird, obscure stuff that isn't popular. That's the whole point.
But even in a library, some books get checked out more than others.
Oh, for sure.
There are bestsellers even in the archives. And this brings us to section 2, the gateway videos, because there is one massive outlier in this data set that we absolutely have to talk about.
The Liz anomaly.
The Liz anomaly. So looking at the spreadsheet, there is a video titled MOAT or 169 Liz had bucks. First off, great title. Just weird enough to be intriguing. Had bucks. It sounds like a code.
It does. It piques curiosity immediately.
So remember, the average video gets 49 views. This video, 8,100 views.
That is a huge jump. That's more than 160 times the average.
It's massive. And more importantly, this single video drove 22 new subscribers in a specific period. For a channel with 457 subs, that is a massive conversion event.
Yes.
So the question is, why? Why this video? Why Liz?
The source material offers a gateway theory here, and I think it's spot on. It comes down to 3 things: visuals, narrative, and structure.
Okay.
And we have to start with the visuals because we have to be honest about how humans behave online.
Right. The source is pretty blunt about this. It notes the thumbnail is a sexy image of a young woman, this character named Liz.
We can't ignore the click factor of a face, and specifically an attractive face. It's the lizard brain, no pun intended regarding Liz.
Right.
But it's the primal brain reacting. We click on faces, we click on eyes, we click on beauty.
It's the stop scroll effect. It just makes you pause for affect.
Exactly. But here is the critical distinction. If it was just clickbait, if it was just a sexy picture and then a video of a guy reading a phone book, the retention would be 0.
People would be gone.
People would click, realize they've been duped, and bounce. It would destroy the video's performance.
But they didn't bounce.
No, they didn't. They watched. And more importantly, they subscribed. And that brings us to the narrative and the structure.
Right. This wasn't just a random video. It is described as a coming out moment regarding the creator's 10 subpersonalities.
This is the fascinating part.
Yeah.
The creator has this complex internal system. 10 distinct characters: Addie, Bannock, Devin, Kelly, Kenny, Liz, Mac, Tyra, Tommy, Val.
Wow.
This video, MOAT 169, essentially explains who they are. Specifically, it introduces Liz.
It's the map.
It is the map. And this is a crucial insight for anyone creating complex work, whether you're writing a fantasy novel, designing a game, or making a YouTube channel about your own psychology.
Right.
Audiences need a map before they can explore the terrain.
Oh, that's so true. Think about Game of Thrones. Before the show starts, you get that map of Westeros in the opening credits.
Every single time.
You need to know where Winterfell is relative to King's Landing, or you're just lost in a sea of names.
Exactly. If this creator just uploads video number 2400 and it's titled Addie's Thoughts on the Rain, a new viewer is completely lost.
Totally.
They don't know who Addie is. They don't know the context. They feel like they walked into the middle of a conversation at a party where they don't know anyone.
And that is an alienating feeling. You just click away.
It is. But MOA 169 says, stop, come here. Let me explain the cast of characters. Let me explain the system. It gives the new viewer permission to understand the rest of the archive.
So people entered for the thumbnail, the sexy image, but they stayed for the system.
Yes.
They stayed for the world building.
Exactly. The visual was the door, but the structure was the room they decided to stay in.
And it's not just Liz, right? I mean, there are other gateways mentioned in the data.
Right. There are secondary gateways.
Yeah.
The next biggest hit is MOAT 285 DJ VAL with 1,300 views.
Music discovery. That makes sense.
The music is a huge gateway. It has the lowest barrier to entry of any art form.
That's true.
You don't need to speak the language. You don't need to know the creator's philosophy. You don't need to know who DJ Val is or isn't. You just need to like the beat.
People search for a genre, or they search for DJ Val. I mean, maybe there's a real DJ Val out there, or they just like the sound of it and they stumble in.
And once they are in, maybe they click on another video. Oh, DJ Val has a playlist. Let me check that out. This is a natural progression.
And then there's the geography stuff. This was interesting. The source lists videos on Lombardy, Italy, Hauts-de-France, Fujian, China. These have 1,000 views, 600 views.
That's the library model at work again. Someone isn't searching for max of all trades. They aren't looking for a subpersonality theory.
No.
They are searching for folk music of Lombardy or scenery of Fujian.
They are looking for a specific piece of information, and this channel happens to have it.
Right. They find the video, they watch it, and maybe, just maybe, they look at the channel name. They click the videos tab, and they see 2,700 other videos.
And they just go, whoa.
They see titles about AI, about philosophy, about giants.
Yeah.
And they think, whoa, what is this place?
I love that image. You walk in looking for a map of Italy, and you find a museum of 10 subpersonalities and AI experiments.
Yeah.
It's like finding Narnia in the back of a wardrobe.
That is the perfect analogy. And the analytics show that people don't enter looking for Max. They enter looking for something else, a girl, a song, a place, and they stumble upon the creator's world.
It's serendipity engineered by SEO.
Beautifully put, yes.
Okay, speaking of stumbling upon things, and speaking of things hiding in the walls, we need to talk about the mice.
Mice theory. This is good.
This is a concept the creator uses, and the analytics seem to back it up. The theory divides the audience into mice, morsels, and specks.
It's a taxonomy of engagement. Mice are the lurkers.
Right.
They watch, but they never like, never comment, never subscribe. They sip the content without leaving a trace.
They're the invisible consumers.
Yes. And then morsels are the ones who interact. The visible audience, the
Yeah.
people who leave comments. And specks are just the unaware masses floating by.
Right. Okay. And the data says the mice are real.
The mice are absolutely real. In fact, they are the majority by a lot. The data shows that 90% of this channel's viewers are non-subscribed.
90%.
90. That is a staggering number. Only 1 out of every 10 people watching has actually hit the subscribe button.
It validates the theory entirely. The vast majority of people consuming this content are doing it silently. They are the mice in the walls of the museum.
That's such a good
They
insight.
come out at night, look at a painting, listen to a song, and scurry away before the lights come on.
It's kind of spooky, but also kind of poetic. It suggests there is this silent, invisible audience that is getting value from the work, but refusing to participate in the social part of social media.
And honestly, that is standard internet behavior. We talk about the 1% rule, that only 1% of users create content, 9% interact, and 90% just consume. This channel is a perfect case study of that rule. Yeah. But the mice theory gets even more interesting and a little stranger when we look at what these mice are searching for.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is one search term that dominates the analytics of this channel, and it is, well, it's unexpected.
It is the giantess phenomenon.
Giantess. It's the #1 lifetime search term for the channel, sitting at 9.2% of all search traffic.
9.2%.
And it's not just the word giantess, the source list related terms. Giantess growth, giantess gentle, giantess feet, friendly giantess.
And AI giantess. Let's not forget that one.
Right. Now, we have to be clear here, and the source is clear about this. The channel isn't an explicit or pornographic channel.
Not at all.
This isn't an adult site.
No, it's a philosophy and art channel.
But the data is the data. In 2026, the creator released a story called The Giantess, and suddenly 50% of the search traffic was coming from that term.
This is where we have to put on our psychologist hats. Why does this niche persist? Why is it driving traffic to a philosophy channel?
It connects back to Liz, right? The sexy thumbnail from the Gateway video.
Partially, yes. The source suggests that the character Liz embodies a giantess thematic. But we need to look deeper. The giantess trope, or macrophilia, if you want the technical term, isn't just about a fetish.
Right.
It connects to folklore, to mythology.
Like the Titans, or Gulliver's Travels, or even the mother goddess archetype from ancient history.
Exactly. The idea of a powerful, larger-than-life female figure is as old as humanity. It's about scale. It's about power dynamics. It's about being small and being protected, or being small and being dominated.
Look at the search term, friendly giantess. That's interesting to me.
Mhm.
It's not just giantess, it's friendly. That implies a desire for comfort, for protection, not fear.
It implies a desire to be cared for by something much larger than yourself.
Yeah.
And for a channel that talks about subpersonalities, which are these larger-than-life characters inside your head that control your behavior, it kind of fits metaphorically, doesn't it?
That's a great point. I hadn't thought of that. A subpersonality is a giantess in the landscape of the mind.
It is.
It's a huge force that you have to reckon with.
It fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Even if the creator didn't intend it to be sexual, the archetype is there.
Ah.
And the internet. Well, the internet is very good at finding archetypes.
The internet is a heat-seeking missile for archetypes.
Exactly. So you have this community of people, let's call them the giantess mice, who are scouring the web for this specific content. They search friendly giantess, and the algorithm serves them MOA because of the story title or the metadata. They click.
They watch, they get the story, maybe they get a little bit of the philosophy along with it.
But here's the traffic paradox. Even though giantess is the loudest search term, I mean, it's screaming at us in the keyword logs, it's actually a small piece of the pie.
This is the part that surprised me, because when you see #1 search term, you think, oh, this is a giantess channel now.
That's the danger of misinterpreting data. The source notes that search traffic people typing words into a box is only about 2.3% of the total traffic for this channel.
Wait, really? Only 2.3%?
Yes, it's tiny. So even though giantess is the king of that 2.3%, the other 97% of traffic is coming from suggested videos, playlists, and browse features.
So the giantess audience is loud in the keywords, but smaller in the broader picture.
Correct. It's a loud minority in the data. The majority of views are coming from the algorithm, suggesting the music or the cultural videos to people who have never typed the word giantess in their lives.
That is such a good lesson in data literacy. Don't let the weirdest data point distract you from the biggest data point.
Exactly. Don't mistake the anomaly for the baseline. If you just looked at the search logs, you'd think you were running a fetish channel. But if you look at the suggested videos, you realize you're running a music and culture channel.
Okay, so we have the mice, we have the giantess seekers, we have the music lovers. We have this chaotic mix of people entering the building through different doors. How do they move from just sipping to actually caring? How do they become residents? The source material constructs a funnel that I think is really smart.
The funnel from curiosity to meaning. This is the architecture of conversion. It's how you turn a tourist into a resident.
Let's walk through the 3 tiers. Tier 1 is curiosity, the doorway.
Right. This is what we just talked about. Visuals, Liz, music, DJ Val, and those specific search terms. This is superficial engagement.
It is.
I like that thumbnail. I like this beat. I'm looking for a giantess. It's transactional.
They walk through the door, then they hit tier 2, exploration, the hallway.
This is where playlists come in.
Yeah.
The analytics show something very interesting here. The All AI Songs playlist has 4.4K views. AI Instrumentals has 1.9K.
Now, playlist views are significant, right? Because you don't accidentally watch a playlist.
Exactly. A playlist view implies a lean-back experience. Someone hit play and let it run. They're browsing. They're staying in the hallway.
They're not just clicking one video and leaving.
No, they are trusting the creator to curate an experience for 20, 30, 40 minutes.
AI instrumentals suggest they're using the content for something else, maybe studying, maybe working.
They're inhabiting the space. They're letting the channel provide the soundtrack to their life. And that is a deeper level of trust than just clicking a thumbnail.
So they've moved from, I like this one song, to I like the vibe of this place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that leads to tier 3, connection, the living room.
The inner sanctum.
This is where the deep cuts live.
The source mentions a podcast called Understanding the Giantess.
Right, which has 380 views. Now compare that. 8,000 people clicked the Sexy Liz video, but only 380 people listened to the podcast analyzing the meaning of the giantess.
That's the distillation, that's the filter working.
That is the core audience. The people listening to the podcast, or the songs specifically made for the subpersonalities, Tira, Liz, Addie, those are the people who have bought into the philosophy.
They aren't there for the image anymore, they are there for the idea.
Exactly. They have moved from the what to the why.
So the insight here is, curiosity brings them in, often for superficial reasons like a thumbnail or a niche fetish, but meaning is what keeps the core audience around.
Yes.
The mice, who stay, eventually become interested in the philosophy.
And philosophy rarely starts as philosophy. It starts as fascination.
That's a great line.
You come for the image, you stay for the explanation. Think about Plato. He talked about beauty as the bait for truth. You see a beautiful form, and it leads you to contemplate the idea of beauty itself.
Philosophy starts as fascination. I'm writing that down. That's good. It explains why we can't just preach at people. We have to interest them first.
You have to win the eye before you can win the mind.
Okay, let's talk about who these people are. Because we have a demographic profile in the data, and it paints a pretty clear picture. And honestly, it surprised me a little.
It contradicts the stereotype of the YouTuber audience.
It really does.
We often think of YouTube audiences as teenagers, maybe 13, 17 years old, watching gaming streams, drinking energy drinks.
Right. Hyperactive, short attention spans. The speedy toilet generation.
MOAT's audience is not that. The dominant age bracket is 25 to 34. That makes up 55% of the viewers.
Over half. That's a millennial and older Gen Z audience.
And the source notes that this is an intellectual demographic. These are people in their late 20s, early 30s. I mean, think about where you are in life at that age.
That's the quarter-life crisis window. You're done with school, you've been working for a few years, maybe you're disillusioned. You're asking, is this it?
Exactly. They are likely seekers. They are thinking about identity, career, meaning, psychology. They aren't looking for quick entertainment to distract them. They're looking for resonance to help them understand themselves.
That makes sense given the content. You don't really get into subpersonality theory, analyzing the voices in your head, unless you're doing some introspection.
Right. It's content for people who are trying to debug their own operating system.
And the gender split, what does that look like?
80% male, 20% female.
Which is fairly standard for tech philosophy AI spaces.
It is heavily male skewed, yes. But that 20% female audience is still significant. It shows the content has some crossover appeal, likely through the music and the cultural aspects.
Right.
It's not an exclusive boys club, but the core demographic matches the typical tech philosophy YouTube profile.
Speaking of cultural aspects, the geography stats are cool. 24.6% US, but then a long tail of international viewers. India is mentioned specifically.
That's the world music effect we talked about. If you make a video about the music of Lombardy, you get viewers from Italy. If you make a video about Fujian, you get viewers from China or the diaspora.
The channel is accidentally global because its subject matter is global.
It's the library effect again. If you stock books in different languages, you get readers who speak those languages. Simple as that.
So we have this solid intellectual global audience, but looking at the timeline, there was a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
The source calls it the 2025 roller coaster. And looking at this graph, it looks more like a slide.
2025 was a rough year for this channel, and honestly, for the internet's relationship with AI in general.
Let's look at the numbers. In January 2025, the channel peaked at 9.3K monthly viewers.
Right.
That's a lot of eyes. That's a very healthy, small channel.
A very strong start to the year. Momentum was building.
But then the dip. It slid down,
Yeah.
fluctuated, and by December 2025, it bottomed out at 1,600 monthly viewers.
That's a huge drop.
That is a massive drop. That's like losing 80% of your foot traffic.
It is. If you were watching your analytics dashboard during that year, you would be panicking. You'd think the sky was falling.
What caused it? The source blames AI fatigue.
And that makes perfect sense. Context is everything.
Right.
Think back to 2023 and 2024. AI was the new magic.
It was the shiny new toy.
We had ChatGPT, Midjourney, Suno, Udio. Everyone was clicking on anything that said AI. Look at this AI song. Look at this AI art. It was the honeymoon phase.
It was novel. It felt like science fiction coming to life on your screen.
Exactly. But by 2025, the novelty wore off. We hit the trough of disillusionment, to borrow a term from the Gartner hype cycle.
The divorce proceedings had started.
Exactly. The internet was flooded with low-effort AI content. It became spam. People started tuning out. AI stopped being a keyword for magic and started being a keyword for slop.
Yeah.
Viewers became selective. They didn't want to just see AI art. They wanted to see good art.
So MO got caught in the crossfire. The baby got thrown out with the bathwater.
The tourists left. The people who just wanted to see the magic trick got bored and walked away.
But the story doesn't end there. Because now, in February 2026, the numbers are bouncing back. Viewers are up to 3,100.
This is the critical recovery. The channel didn't die. The hype died. The tourists left, but the residents, the people interested in the actual ideas, not just the tech, they stayed or they're coming back.
And interestingly, despite the view dips, the channel gained 302 subscribers in 2025.
That's the proof of life. That's the key stat right there. If the channel were truly dead, subscriber growth would be flat or negative. people would be unsubscribing.
But they weren't.
But gaining 302 subs while views are dropping, that means the people who did find the channel really liked it. They liked it enough to subscribe even when the trend was dying.
The core is solidifying. It's quality over quantity. The herd thinned out, but the ones remaining are the true believers.
Exactly. And that is a much healthier foundation for a long-term project than a bunch of tourists who are just passing through.
Now, we have to look at this from the machine's point of view. We've analyzed the humans. Let's analyze the algorithm.
The great and powerful Oz.
Because the algorithm is the gatekeeper. Section 6. The algorithm's perspective.
To understand the machine, we need to look at two numbers: impressions and click-through rate, or CTR. Let's start with impressions.
An impression is simply when YouTube shows your thumbnail to someone. It's a billboard on the digital highway.
Yes. And the number here is massive. The channel has 7.5 million lifetime impressions.
7.5 million.
Hmm.
That is a lot of billboards.
It is a huge number for a channel with 457 subscribers. It tells us something very important. The algorithm has not shadow banned this creator.
That's a common fear, right? Oh, YouTube hates me. They buried my content.
Right. But 7.5 million impressions says otherwise. The algorithm is actually trying very hard to find an audience for this content. It's working for you.
It's testing. It's like a casting director trying to find the right role for an actor. Maybe they like this video. No. Maybe this
It's
thing.
constantly testing. It's throwing the Liz video at people. It's throwing the DJ Val video at people. It wants this channel to succeed because the content is dense and metadata rich.
Right.
The algorithm loves data, and this channel provides a lot of it.
But we have to talk about the CTR, the click-through rate, because this is where the tires meet the road.
The dreaded CTR. This is the percentage of people who see the billboard and actually take the exit.
And it's 1.1%.
Yeah.
The source notes that 2.5% is average and 10% is excellent. 1.1% is, well, it's objectively low.
It is low, but, and this is a huge but, we have to look at why it is low. This isn't necessarily because the thumbnails are bad. This is the penalty of being a variety channel.
The variety tax. I like that.
Think about it from the subscriber's perspective.
Yeah.
Let's say I subscribe because I like the DJ Val techno song. I want more techno. I want beats.
Okay, so you're the techno guy.
2 days later, you upload a 40-minute podcast about the philosophy of subpersonalities and the politics of 2026. The algorithm shows it to me because I'm a subscriber. Do I click it?
Probably not. You want a techno, you see the thumbnail, it's just guys talking, or a philosophical diagram, and you think, boring. You keep scrolling.
Exactly. So the algorithm records that. It says, oh, his own subscriber didn't click. This video must be bad. It takes a penalty.
And then the next day, you upload a video about Italian folk music. The philosophy guy who subbed for the podcast doesn't click that.
So you have this fragmented audience where everyone ignores 80% of what you upload because they only like the 20% that applies to them.
That drags the average CTR down into the basement.
It does. It confuses the algorithm. The algorithm is asking, who is this channel FOR?
Yeah.
And the answer is everyone and no one.
It's brand confusion.
Exactly. If you're a business, they tell you to focus. But this is a museum of the mind, remember. Minds are messy.
They are.
Minds are varied. So the low CTR is the cost of doing business as a polymath.
But there's a silver lining here, right? The source mentions an effective CTR.
Yes. If you look at the conversion, when people click, do they watch? The answer is yes. That's why the impressions keep coming.
Oh, okay.
If the CTR was 1.1% in D, the retention was 0, meaning people clicked and immediately left. YouTube would stop showing the videos immediately. They wouldn't waste the bandwidth.
But they haven't stopped.
No. 7.5 million impressions means the machine is saying, I'm confused. I don't know who this is for, but I know there's something valuable here because when I do find the right person, they watch. So I'm going to keep trying.
That's weirdly encouraging. The robot believes in you.
The robot is persistent.
Yeah.
It knows the quality's there. It just can't figure out the packaging.
So we've crunched the numbers, we've analyzed the psychology, we've looked at the giantesses and the music and the bewildered algorithm. What does this all mean for the creator? Or, you know, for anyone listening who feels like their own creative output is a bit scattered. Let's get to the strategic takeaways, the so what.
The first takeaway is simply acceptance. You have to accept the variety tax.
Explain that.
If you want to be max of all trades, if you want to follow your curiosity wherever it leads, from music to politics to giantesses to coding, you have to accept the trade-off.
Right.
You are trading rapid growth and high CTR for creative freedom.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be a chaotic creative spirit and have the optimized analytics of a niche tutorial channel.
Exactly. The niche channel grows faster
Yeah.
because it's easy to understand. This channel is about baking. Bam. Subscribed.
Easy.
This channel is about everything inside this guy's head. That's a harder sell.
That you have to play the long game.
You are building a library, not a viral factory. And libraries take decades to build, not months. You are building a legacy, not a trend.
The second strategy is the anchor.
Okay.
The source suggests the creator needs more map videos.
This is crucial. This is so important. We saw the power of MOAT 169 Liz Hadbucks.
Yeah.
It was a map. It explained the project. The recommendation here is do that again, do it often.
Make a guide to MOAT, make a Who is DJ Val video.
Create entry points. Imagine walking into a massive museum with no signs.
You'd be lost.
You'd walk out. You'd be overwhelmed. But if there's a sign that says dinosaurs this way and modern art this way, you stay. You feel oriented.
Don't just add more books to the library. Put up some signs so people know where the sections are. Don't assume people know the backstory.
Exactly. Reintroduce the characters. Explain the philosophy again. New people need a hand to hold. Treat every video like it might be someone's first.
And finally, the mice strategy.
This is a mental health strategy as much as a business one. Don't worry about the silence, the lack of comments, the lack of likes. It doesn't mean disinterest.
The data proves it.
The data proves that the mice are watching playlists, they're consuming hours of content, they just aren't waving at you.
Right.
The silence isn't failure, it's just a style of consumption.
It's the difference between a rave and a reading room. Both are full of people, but one is much quieter.
And this channel is a reading room. You shouldn't expect a mosh pit in a library.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, looking at MO8, this channel, Max of all trades, it feels like a case study in digital legacy.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's not optimized for 2026. It's optimized for 2036 or 2046.
Wow.
It's a time capsule. It's a message in a bottle thrown into the digital ocean.
And the analytics revealed something really poetic, I think.
Yeah.
The source mentioned that people arrive for beauty, rhythm, and landscape. The thumbnails, the music, the geography videos. These are the oldest human entry points to meaning.
It's true. We are drawn to beauty. We are drawn to a beat. You're drawn to a place. Those are the universals.
And philosophy rarely starts as philosophy. It
Right.
starts as fascination.
You see a beautiful face, you hear a song, you see a strange word like giantess, and you step closer. And before you know it, you're learning about the structure of the human mind.
That is the power of the rabbit hole.
That is the power of the deep dive.
So I want to leave you, the listener, with a question today. We talked about the mice, the lurkers. Are you a mouse in someone else's channel? Is there a creator out there whose work you devour in silence?
Think about it. Do you watch every video but never hit like? Do you listen to every podcast but never leave a review?
And thinking back, what was the gateway that brought you there? Was it a thumbnail? A song? A weird search term?
What was the door that led you into the room you're standing in right now?
Think about that. And maybe, just maybe, leave a comment for them today. Turn from a mouse into a morsel. Just this once.
Confuse their analytics?
Yes! Go confuse their analytics. Make the algorithm question everything. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.